Hi everyone. I want to show you a few Beatle related items I got fairly recently that I haven't shown yet. Only a few here, but I think they're kind of interesting nonetheless. First one I'm going to show is, start off small, is the original cassette tape version of George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. It comes in this little box, which is in pretty good shape still. The orange apple, and the tapes themselves are housed inside here. There are two cassettes. And I thought they're very nice. Very nice artwork. That's the poster that came with the original vinyl LP set, and they used that for the cover of the cassettes, which I thought was a nice piece. Okay, this is interesting. I'll cover the address. Found this at my record store. It came in the original envelope. Now, Joe Pope, I believe that was his name, right? Joe Pope in the 1970s had a fan club and a fan magazine that he called Strawberry Fields Forever. And occasionally he would mail out, I suppose, records. You might call them unofficial bootleg records, which had a lot of material at the time that was rare and hard to find. And even today it's interesting. I actually have some notes in here that I prepared myself. They're really the contents of what's on these discs. Don't pay any attention to this. Bear with me. It's got paperwork here. As you can see, it's got SFF on there. That's Strawberry Fields Forever, name of the fan magazine, and it was sent with this typewritten information. And this was always the symbol of Strawberry Fields Forever fan club. I really didn't belong to this, even though I was a big Beatles fan in the 1970s. I didn't belong to this fan club, but this person, whoever got the shipment in the mail, did, and it tells you all the information about what's on these discs. Anyway, let's get to the discs. They're flexi discs, and there are 3 of them here. I don't want to really hurt them too much, so you can see they're like flexi discs that are 2-sided. Information's recorded on here. Strawberry Fields magazine number 40. There's some jokes on here in between the material. You have actual rarities, but also some gags on here. I have one disc like that. The other flexi disc is a red one. This one says Strawberry Fields number 24, an audio issue. There's a little circle here that says place a coin on here if the sound sheet slips. Put a coin on it to keep it flat. Third disc it looks just like that one. It's also another red one. I suppose this is really the main side. I can't tell any. There you go. But the stuff that I jotted down, I didn't know what was really on the content of these until I really played them. And I had like one disc has George and Paul Simon when they were on Saturday Night Live in '76. Then it has John Lennon on Salute to Sir Lou Grade in 1975 when he did a live TV performance. And this is the first time you ever really had a chance, I think, to have these on here. You got to also, what's interesting, you consider, I think this release is 1977. So what you're watching here is actually stuff from 1975 and 1976 when it was new. So, you know, the narrator, I guess it's Joe Pope himself, says on there, he says, here's a recent appearance of John Lennon on TV on Salute to Sir Lou Grade, you know, and it was, and a recent appearance by George Harrison and Paul Simon on Saturday Night Live. And it's kind of weird because it's, you know, new. You know, now we're used to it being like decades old, but it was like brand new. And the only way you could hear it was by, I guess, joining the fan club and listening to the discs. They play very well and they sound pretty good. Side 2 has a Badfinger song on it, and it has Ringo doing the No-No song from the Smothers Brothers television show, and it's got John doing Angel Baby, which at the time was, I guess what you'd call a rare, unheard track from the rock and roll album sessions, you know. And then you have the yellow disc has Strawberry Fields Forever on it, a demo. Now it's very common among collectors, and I think it's even had it on some official releases like Anthology and stuff. But back then it was rare. You had this slow version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which was very rare then. Whatever Gets You Through the Night, a kind of outtake, a demo of that. The McCartney song from London Town, that's an outtake called Water Spout. Then we have the side 2 of one of the discs, the Beatles Meet the Three Stooges. I forget what that was. That was kind of a joking thing. Then you have like some false starts, outtakes of Don't Bother Me and A Hard Day's Night and I'm Looking Through You. Things that you didn't hear at the time. I Should Have Known Better from a BBC session, a rehearsal session. I'm So Tired, rare version with Paul on vocals. And another disc has a lot of rare stuff on it. But you get the picture. There's a lot to read here, but it really was rare stuff. You know, now not so rare, but at the time, really unusual. Then I got the last item I'm going to show here is kind of interesting too. On first look, it may look very common to a lot of fans, but it's not what you think it is. You know, there was an album that came out in 1980 called, a lot of glare here, the McCartney Interview. But this is a special demonstration double album. There's 2 records in here, you know, on the white label promo and some stuff in here also. This is not the one that's commonly available. It's 2-disc rarity. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take it out of here. Now, first of all, this was a interview that Paul did for a magazine called Musician, Player and Listener. Yes. And it comes with a magazine. Now, I don't know whether it actually came with the original magazine, or whoever owned this record threw this in just for fun. But they have the magazine with the interview with Paul in it, which the audio is from. Also has a letter here from CBS Records. See the letterhead up there, and it describes what this is with a signature on it, and it tells you, without reading the whole thing, just an idea. It says, "Dear programmer, what you have in your hands is probably one of the most informative interviews ever. Essentially, the whole Beatles story is told here by Paul himself, from early Hamburg to how Beatle haircuts started and how and why a lot of the Beatles records were recorded. The interview also covers Wings and McCartney's solo albums, especially the controversial McCartney 2. This was basically a promotional thing right around the time of the McCartney 2 album. Oh, it says here, yes, it says, by the way, it also turns out that Musician, Player, and Listener magazine is a cool magazine, and included here is a copy for your enjoyment. So it did include, as part of the package for the DJs, the magazine. And the 2 discs in here. Oh. You know, it's nice to make videos, but sometimes you endanger your own collection, because I just dropped the sheet on the floor. I hope it didn't get wrinkled. 2 discs. A white label Columbia promo, demonstration, not for sale. Now, what you get here is, on the first disc, you get the actual interview, which is available for anybody who has this album. This is the standard album interview. But the second disc is the one that's a little more interesting, and I don't know how well it's going to show up here. You might be able to see, this is album 2. This is banded excerpts, little tiny excerpts of different conversation pieces for radio play, little snippets here and there, certain highlights, which you may be able to see. Yeah, okay, if I'm on the right angle, you can see all the thin grooves of the songs. Yeah, these are all like certain conversation snippets for radio programming. So this was an unusual item. I mean, I didn't even know this was around. So it's a good complimentary item to have for the standard McCartney interview album that we all know. So that's it for this video. I'll put this away as soon as I shut the camera down. And thank you as always for watching my videos and supporting my channel.